In today's video, we're going to take stock of the MEMECOIN ecosystem. So I'm going to give you a top MEMECOIN cryptocurrency by blockchain. I see that this is really a topic that is in huge demand right now on YouTube and by the different people who follow me. I see that as soon as I make a video that talks about MEMECOIN, it's something that interests people. So, I decided to try to do a total overview of the different MEMECOINs by blockchain. Indeed, we can see that MEMECOINs have literally exploded. So here, we can see the top performers here. We can still see that we are on great performances that go up to 200% over the last 30 days. We can see that the same coins have regained vitality and we see the same letting coins. So I want to tell you that the prices you will see in this video can vary enormously. On the day I make the video, we are currently on a dub of MEMECOIN, but maybe by the day you watch this video, prices will have moved quite a bit. So you need to find out about the market capitalization, about the price of crypto. And above all, here, we are on something degenerate, much riskier. So, you need to do your own research on your side, because I am not an advisor in financial investment. Really, investing in MEMECOINs has risks of total capital loss that are extremely high. As proof, I believe that only 0.01% of people who invest in MEMECOINs manage to get more than $10,000 out of it, which is not normal. Not a lot either when you see the poor performance. 60% are in loss and I believe that more than 85–90% earn less than $1,000, so we see that these are not gains that change a lot of things either. So here, the goal is to give you a little overview of MEMECOIN by blockchain. Here, I found a small image that showed you a lot of things with MEMECOIN on Ethereum, on Solana, on Swiss, on Base, on the Binance Smart Chain. My goal is to show you a little bit of what there is to see. The first blockchain that I will go over, it will be the blockchain that, for me, is the least impacted and has the least weight in everything that is on the same coins. And I will finish with the blockchains that are the most involved in this ecosystem. So the first is Kaspa, a cryptocurrency that worked really well during the first part of bull market, but a project on which there is not a huge ecosystem. From a fundamental point of view, it's not necessarily that. In any case, from a fundamental point of view, ecosystem and development and on the same coins, I only found one, namely the ghost Kaspa, the Casper. It's a well-chosen name. And there, once again, what can we look at? We have to look at its market cap. So be careful, there, they tell us that the market cap has not been verified. We have to look at the volume per 24 hours. I find it interesting to know if the same coin is still in the spotlight. And there, we see that the volume by the market cap, it's 2%, so which is not huge either. So still something to watch and very risky. Then, we will move on to a second ecosystem, the Tron ecosystem. Tron, which is a cryptocurrency that is still 11th in terms of market cap, which is in the top cryptocurrency. Its ecosystem is not very large, it is not very advanced, but it is true that it is a blockchain that is used a lot to transfer USDC or USDT because, quite simply, it is inexpensive. So on Tron, what we can see is that we have the Sun Dog and that this cryptocurrency is still capitalized at $137 million with a 24-hour volume of 205 million. So clearly, this can be once again, not financial investment advice, a cryptocurrency on which we can say that it can be interesting. You have the Tron ecosystem which is still in the top 15 cryptocurrencies and above all you have a volume that is at 78% of the market cap. This means that, there are a lot of people who are buying this cryptocurrency and there are still interesting volumes. So it can be something cool to look at if you want to invest in the Tron ecosystem. The next cryptocurrency is the Tron Bulls. And so, the Tron Bull which has a much smaller market cap, 11 million and a volume per market cap on the other hand of 27 million. So we have 263%, that is to say that there is twice as much, almost 3 times as much volume as the market cap. And that, suddenly, also translates into an increase in its price as we see here. And then, you just have to monitor the token releases, but which are often done at the beginning. But it is true that if you want to take a little more risk on the Tron ecosystem, you can take the Tron Bull or otherwise go to the first cryptocurrency. Afterwards, Tron is not the ecosystem on which there is the most liquidity at the level of the same coins, but we will say that it can be a good alternative. Next ecosystem, it is the Binance Smart Chain. For me, already, the Binance Smart Chain is an ecosystem that was more of the last bull run and above all, they are not the leaders on the same coins. So, there is one that stands out, it's a cat. So, they don't aim at dogs, it's a cats. And it's the Siemens Cats with its ticker, the cats. So, there is still a nice market capitalization, almost $300 million and a volume of 64 million. That's 23%, we're on something not bad. I think that really, when you want to invest in a cryptocurrency, even coin, on a slightly longer term, what you have to look at is it in a promising ecosystem. So here, I'll show you from the least promising to the most in my opinion. And what is its market capitalization? And above all, what is its volume over 24 hours? Basically, are people interested in this cryptocurrency or not? It would seem that there is still a nice appeal with 23% of the volume, knowing that it is still a nice capitalization. We will then start on an ecosystem, the largest ecosystem of crypto, of the cryptosphere, namely Ethereum. So by Ethereum, it is the largest at the level of the cryptosphere, but it is also the one that manages to drain a lot of money, even at the level of memecoins. We have for example the very well-known Floki, which is always a dog. You will see that there are still a lot of dog heads that are at the level of memecoins, which still has a huge market cap of $2 billion, 57th in the market cap ranking, with a volume of 23% of more than almost $500 million. So this is the type of crypto, once again, that has volumes, that is supported and that can be interesting if we want to aim long-term on the same coins because clearly, there's a real community, there's a Twitter with a lot of people, there's a lot of volume, there's a nice market cap. It can be interesting and we are on an ecosystem that should disrupt, namely Ethereum. The Turbo which has also been a part of it because in fact, they are both in the same corners, but they are also in artificial intelligence. They try to be on both narratives. So the Turbo, we see that it was not talked about at all. Then, it was launched in May and it literally exploded. A market cap of $500 million and volume still around 40% with $160 million over the last 24 hours. We are clearly on an upward trend. So the Turbo that can be interesting if you bet on both memecoins and artificial intelligence. We're going to move on to another ecosystem that is linked to Ethereum, namely a layer 2 that takes care of all the scalability part of Ethereum, which can be an arbiter. I want to clarify that if you want to go down, you can already see the evolution of its market cap over 24 hours, are their volumes on this ecosystem. And you can go see for yourself by going down to see if there are projects that interest you. Here, I'm talking to you about 1 or 2 projects, but of course, you have to do your own research before anything. So the cryptocurrency that I found was the ARB Doge AI with a market cap of 60 million and a volume of 11 million. For me, when we see that we are on an upward trend and that we have a volume per market cap above 10%, then for me, everything depends on the size. We had a volume 3 times larger than the market cap, but we had a very small market cap. If you have a market cap that is high with good volumes, it means that there are people who are interested in it. In any case, you will not have a problem reselling because the liquidity is rather good. Then, we will move on to the Doge ecosystem. Doge which is itself a joke. And the same coin, the same most capitalized coin that had risen during the last bull market to around 80 billion in capitalization. We see the Doge ecosystem which is still quite high with almost only dog heads and the same coins. And one that is not bad is Om which is currently capitalized at 22 million market cap for a volume of 300,000. The problem is that we have a volume per market cap, and that's why I also wanted to show you, which is quite low. That is to say that for the moment, we are not very interested in this cryptocurrency. So yes, it is rather on an upward trend, but the volume per market cap being low, either it tells you that for the moment, no one is interested in it and that you can go for it, but the problem with that is that for me, this kind of cryptocurrency is very community-based. So it may have increased and had a bit of volume in the last few days thanks to Doge, which really took off, and Elon Musk, but for me, it's not something crazy. You should know that on Dogecoin, we also have what we call Dogonals and or DRC20, which are in fact the fact of registering the same coins in a block thanks to blockchain technology. And so, that's still something that is very interesting about the Doge ecosystem. And at one point, there were Dogonals that were quite talked about. The next ecosystem is Cardano, an old crypto but which is a Dino coin and which has been a part of it quite a bit. I think that Cardano has a fairly old ecosystem. When we see that Cardano's 4th cryptocurrency is the Snake, which is its same coin number 1, and that we only have old projects, it's true that it's not a project that has a huge ecosystem and yet has performed well. The number 1 token on this blockchain is the Snake. Let's say that it changes a little. We see that the number of holders is not huge, nor 35,000 holders. That's the number of followers. What's happening on this cryptocurrency is not crazy either. The market cap on the other hand is not bad, still almost 300 million market cap, but a fairly low volume. And with a volume per market cap over the last 24 hours of 1.84%. Which perhaps also shows that we are running out of steam in terms of the price that we are seeing there. Afterwards, it is still a cryptocurrency thanks to Cardano's performance in recent weeks, has managed to perform very well. Then, we will move on to another ecosystem, the Avalanche ecosystem, which is a bit layer 1 that aims to perform better than Ethereum. There is also a role of layer 0. Avalanche is not the cryptocurrency that has been talked about the most. I found a main memecoin, namely Kokino, which has a fairly high market cap of $170 million. In value by market cap, which is still at 13%, that is to say that there is still interest. And we see a slight recovery of interest there. Afterwards, it was launched at the beginning of 2024. But there you go, we see a real recovery of interest in recent weeks. Maybe the Avalanche blockchain will wake up too, or maybe it's just the Dino coin fashion that has performed well. You can go watch my video from yesterday if you want more information on that. Then, we have the ALTCOIN ecosystem. ALTCOIN is an ecosystem that exploded during this first part of BULLRUN, in which, and quite simply attached to the Telegram application. For the moment, what we have seen on it, yes, there are species of the same coin, but these same coins are more attached to games that are tap to earn. For example, we have NotCoin, we have Dogs, we have Hamster Combat. We are more on tap to earn community games. The one I found is Resistance Dog, but which has a market cap of $28 million and a volume on market cap not exceptional. We see that it is rather on a downward phase. I have the impression that your corner has a hard time really having the madness of the same coins, or it's more on the to earn side, so games where you have to tap on the screen to win money. Then, we have Aptos. Aptos, which is one of the main competitors of Sway, which aims to be a new generation blockchain that is better than Ethereum. An ecosystem that is developing, but which is not exceptional on the Aptos side either. Concerning cryptos, the number one cryptocurrency at the MEMECOIN level is the GUE Inu. The GUE Inu, which behaves in a particular way. Not crazy, we still see a fairly high market cap of 7 million, volumes that are at 3% over 24 hours. Afterwards, it was monitored before entering. And above all, we see that it has taken a bit of the beast's hair over the last few weeks, but that we are not on a cryptocurrency that is enormously capitalized either, so very risky. Civil ecosystem, it's the Bitcoin ecosystem. Bitcoin, which is the leader, and inevitably, there are people who try to use that to precisely beyond Bitcoin and at the same time on the same coins. So there, we have Ordi. Ordi, for me, we can put it in the ecosystem of the same coins, even if it is no longer what we call a BRC20. It is an inscription that will be made directly on Bitcoin. We can put it a little in the same ecosystem of Bitcoins because in fact, it is really something that is registered in the Bitcoin blocks. So, it is secured by Bitcoin, but there is no real use behind it. It's a bit the same thing with SATs. Let's move on to the next ecosystem, which is Psi. Psi, which is also an interesting blockchain with a fairly small ecosystem. The thing I found on it was Milli. So, here, as you can see, which is based on Eugene Bolt with the athlete's well-known position. A very low market cap of $3.25 million that has rather collapsed so far. A volume per market cap over 24 hours that is not exceptional. Psi, which, for the moment, is not too much in the spotlight. Maybe if Psi explodes, its same coin, the Milli, will be able to take quite a few things, and I had found another one which was the Cyan. So this one, I find it rather stylish. Afterwards, it is not because we find it stylish that it worked well, but it is based, as you can see, on everything that is Dragon Ball Z. Here, we see a market cap that is not verified. For this one, I said to myself that I could show you how we did it. You can also go check on CoinGecko, and there, you have a market cap that is more verified. So a market capitalization of around $10 million. We see that it's not crazy, it's still on a nice, downward slope and a volume that is roughly around 15% of the market cap. So there, we see that there is volume coming back. Maybe that's why it's starting to take off. But for now, not the ecosystem on which the most things are happening. Next ecosystem. There, we are on a slightly more interesting ecosystem that has shown a certain strength and resilience during this first part of the bull market. It's about following a blockchain competing with Ethereum, but also with Aptos. And one of the same coins that is very well known for this is the Hippo. The IPO, which has a fairly high market cap of $154 million and a volume per market cap over the last 24 hours of 40%, that is to say $60 million, which is still interesting. We saw that it had performed well and there that it has fallen. What we can notice is that often, the same coins explode there too where the ecosystem explodes. We saw that Sway did well at the beginning of November. Suddenly, the same coins on its ecosystem still performed very well, and that there, it calmed down a little, that the hype is elsewhere, and suddenly, it works perhaps a little less. Another cryptocurrency that we have on it is the FUD, the Pug. And there again, I went to CoinGecko to find it. And so, it's a cryptocurrency with a market capitalization of 22 million and a volume over the last 24 hours of about 2 million. So, we're below 10%. There's not a crazy volume, but we can see that it still performed well afterwards. Now, it's digesting well. Then, Suddenly, this FUD cryptocurrency, I had also put it on CoinMarketCap, but I went to CoinGecko to check it. For me, one of the two ecosystems that is the most interesting in terms of the bull run as a whole, but also in terms of the same coins, is the Base ecosystem. For now, we don't have a cryptocurrency purely backed by Base, because in fact, it is simply the world's number 2 exchanger and which is chosen by institutions and by BlackRock to hold these bitcoins. It is Coinbase. It should perhaps launch in the future. For now, nothing to do with it. And the number 1 at this level is Bread, and we see that it is also betting on PP Coin, which had worked extremely well. Bread, which still has a market cap of $1.6 billion. So there, we are on big. A 124-hour volume of 100 million, or 6% of the market cap, which is not exceptional. And I think that these volumes falling also shows a stabilization. Afterwards, what is not bad with the Bread is that we currently see that cryptocurrencies are falling, while he is in the process of consolidating that could lead to an explosion of cryptocurrencies. In any case, a cryptocurrency that seems solid to me in a solid narrative, but which has already had its glory days. On Base, we also have the MOG, so this time, we will say the leader, but at the level of everything that is more ecosystem cat, again a bear market cap, we are slightly below $1 billion, with a volume per 24 hours not exceptional, after we see that it does not necessarily mean. In fact, it is just whether people are currently interested in it. Sometimes, if the volume is too high, it can also mean that people will be interested in it differently and that we may have a little overheating. In this case, there is a nice upward trend. We see that MEMECOIN worked pretty well, but after that, we shouldn't get into parabolic cryptocurrencies. And then behind that, which is DegenCoin, which is a Ethereum meme, a meme that is also very interesting, DegenCoin. A market cap of 245 million for a volume around 31% with 77 million. So, I think that, for example, is the type of volume. Here, we have a volume that is coming in. For the moment, we have something that is quite low. If the basic ecosystem started to make a lot more noise and to take off again, it could perhaps be a same coin that could explode. But no advice on investing financially in that. We will now move on to the number 1 ecosystem at the level of the same coins, namely Solana. I have already made you a short video with a tutorial on how to trade the same coins mainly at the level of Solana, but also at the level of Base, which are for me the 2 largest ecosystems for trading the same coins. Afterwards, really not financial investment advice, and it remains something extremely risky to trade cryptocurrencies that are based just on the community because the feeling. And very hard to get. What is impressive with Solana is that they managed to come back from a very complicated bear market, and that if you look at their ecosystem, we see that very high up, we have the bonk, we have the dog with fat. If we go down a little more, we have the pop cat, we have the peanut. Really, in the biggest cryptocurrencies of Solana, we see that there are a lot of memecoins that are precisely at the top. And that is one of the concerns that I have about Solana, is that they have a beautiful ecosystem, that they manage to attract hypes but which are perhaps a little too short term. You can refer to my video, precisely, I talk about the limits of Solana. Now, we're going to talk about number 1 on Solana, namely the bonk, another dog's head that's close to a Shiba, the bonk that literally exploded. So, when it's vertical like that, it's clearly not the right time to get in. We see a huge market cap of $3.18 billion, a volume around 26%, which is still quite high, but when you're on vertical like that, it's at your own risk. At your own risk that you enter. There, you have people who are on huge multiples who will necessarily take their gains. Then we have the dog with hat, which has really exploded in recent months with a market cap also of $3 billion, a volume around 33%. We can still see that there is a fair amount of volume. There, it really exploded, and there, we can see that since March, it is a little bit lateralizing. Then, we also have the place for cats with the popcat, which is still less capitalized, but still has a very nice market cap. We can see that on Solana, many projects are over billions with a market cap of $1.24 billion and a 24-hour volume slightly below 10%. We can see that we still have a nice upward trend, and there that we are losing a little bit of juice. Then, we have the peanut, which has been talked about a lot very recently. We see that it was listed in November. It is a cryptocurrency that has a market cap of $1 billion with a volume of almost $1 billion too. Really a lot of hype on this cryptocurrency that has still made huge percentages in a very short time. Then we also have the cat in the dog world, which is a rather funny cryptocurrency, which is more based on cats, slightly above $1 billion with 818 million market cap, a volume around 17% and a nice upward trend. What I also wanted to tell you with memecoins is that you have to be very careful to find cryptocurrencies, even coin, very early when they are worth less than 100,000 market cap. But it is extremely risky, and we have seen a lot of abuses. In fact, there was the possibility of doing live streams in there. They completely removed them because there were really people who were abusing it. If you want, you can go and find out. I won't talk about it in this video, but really, there were a lot of imbus with people who were ready to do anything to make money and even to rug their community. So to summarize a little what happened in this video, we have memecoins that work very well, which on the alt-cold season in the next part of bullrun should also work well. Personally, I have very little exposure to memecoins. I try to really stay on the fundamentals. I might be wrong in the end. Afterwards, my goal is as long as I manage to make money in crypto, everyone must go to their edge. We see that we have different ecosystems that are trying to surf this wave. So, we have to be careful. Yes, we have to follow the top towards the money. Yes, we also have to follow the hype. But there you go, it could come back for example on artificial intelligence, on RWA. And maybe your memecoins that don't have a community behind them, precisely, if people stop following them and it goes down, then it can go down much more. And above all, you have to be careful, because as I told you, only 0.01% of people earn more than $10,000 with memecoins, which is still very low. Today's video is now over. Good evening everyone and see you next time.